Well, hello everybody. How are you doing today? I certainly hope you're doing good, and I'm doing good too. Certainly glad to be back with you once again. And I tell you, it's really been hot lately, hasn't it? It has been very hot. But we're pressing on trying to make it through this steamy summer. And I tell you, it's really been steamy too. Yes, it has. And I hope you're staying cool, trying to take care of yourselves out here in this heat every day, especially those of you who have to work in the heat and stuff all day long. Oh man, it can be rough on you. We have to stay hydrated and take frequent breaks, try to get where some air is, and all that good stuff. But anyway, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much for being with me once again. I really do appreciate it. And I would like to say welcome to each and every one of you out there to another episode of TJ's Topics. That's right, I tell you, it's so good to be with you. And of course, I am TJ, in case you didn't know that. Oh, I tell you, it really means a lot to me just to be able to share a few minutes with you each and every week. And I consider it a joy, an honor, and a privilege to be able to come into your presence on any given occasion. Now, this week, I have another topic that I would like to share with you, and it's one that I feel like many of you will be able to relate to, and it has a lot to do with who we choose to fellowship with, who we choose to hang out with and kick it with, who we choose to associate with, and we really have to be careful who we deal with because you know everybody is not our friend. Everyone doesn't have our best interests at heart. So that's why it's very, very important that we be mindful of the company that we keep. We we want to deal with those who we know are genuine and sincere. And so with that being said, my topic for today is you can't eat at everybody's house. And that is the truth. You can't eat at everybody's house. Now, there can be two implications to this. The first one can be from a natural perspective, and the second one can be from a spiritual perspective. But let's talk about the natural perspective first. Well, first of all, we know that when you go over people's houses, I don't care who it is, a family member or friend or neighbor, whoever, somebody you work with or perhaps have gone to school with in the past. Whenever you go over to their house, you're liable to see anything. I mean, you may see a dog running through there. Some people have dogs in their house. And let me tell you this, there are people who have, they have pets, dogs and cats and different things. But let me ask you this. How do you feel about people who have, they may have a dog in the house and, they're cooking in the kitchen, preparing food, maybe getting ready to feed their families and have guests over and they eat too. And as they're stirring in their pots, you know, preparing whatever it is they're cooking, some people like to sample their food while they're cooking, make sure it's seasoned just right and tastes good because they want everybody else to enjoy it too. But how do y'all feel about people who who have pets in their house, like a dog or something, and they'll take the spoon first, they'll taste it themselves on that spoon, you know. They just got through stirring in the pot. Then they'll take that same spoon and put it down where the dog can lick it. And when the dog get through licking it, they'll put the spoon right back in the pot. You talking about nasty as all get out. That is flat out nasty. Won't wash the spoon, won't even reach in the drawer and get another spoon. They'll put that same spoon back in the pot after they done licked off of it, tasting the food, and let the dog lick it. And there are certain people out here who do that kind of stuff. And I'm not gonna, get into all that. I'm gonna let you draw your own conclusion. But there are those who do that kind of stuff. And I just don't think it's a good thing to do. It's not a very good practice. Now and then look, and still talking about from a natural perspective on why you can't eat at everybody's house. Some people, while they're cooking, they may have to stop and go to the bathroom. We all have to do that from time to time. Well, what do you think about those who, and I've seen this with my own eyes, they'll go use the bathroom and flush the commode and stuff, won't wash their hands, and go right back into the kitchen cooking, stirring in their pots and, in their pans and handling food and stuff. Matter of fact, my very first job was in a restaurant. I worked at a seafood restaurant here in town that's been long gone out of business for nearly 25 years. They've been gone now for just that long. And I only worked there during a few months in high school. Well, anyway, there was one night where the manager, he was a big old heavyset man. He was out there running the cash register. And as soon as he got all the customers cleared out from the register, he left the register, handling all that money now, money changing hands and everything. He went back there in the kitchen where they were preparing the food, and he wiped his hands on a wet dish rag and started fixing people's plates. Didn't wash his hands with soap and water or anything. The dish rag was laying on the counter. And dish rags are not clean, especially if you've already used them, washed dishes and stuff like that. They're not clean. He wiped his hands on that dish rag and started fixing people's plates. And I saw that with my own eyes because I was back there with him. You talking about nasty. Man, you talking about filthy. And that is the main reason why you can't eat at everybody's house. Now that covers the natural perspective. Now let's go to the spiritual perspective. It's a good idea not to eat at everybody's house. It's not a good idea to do such because, people have different, everyone carries a different energy for one thing. And different environments carry different types of energies and vibrations. And sometimes you just don't feel comfortable being in certain places around certain people at a certain time. Sometimes you can be in the wrong place at the wrong time, dealing with the wrong people. And, it doesn't matter if it's over somebody's house or in a certain restaurant or even at a certain function, maybe a birthday party or a banquet or some type of gathering where there are a lot of people. And you go there and time you pull up in the parking lot, you can feel something within that's letting you know that something about this place is not right. And there may be one individual there, or two individuals, or a group of people there that just aren't meant for you to deal with. They're not worth your time. You don't need to be fooling with those people because they're no good. Well, if you use your head, and if you, as they said, follow your first mind, well, you may want to refrain from even entering the building, because as soon as you walk in the door, there's no telling what might happen, or, who might say this or do that. And that you can be around your own kinfolks, and some of them can be something else. Matter of fact, a lot of times it's your very own family whom you got to be mindful of how you deal with. There are a lot of family members that you just can't be around on a regular basis. It's just not good for you, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. It's just not comfortable for us to be around certain relatives from time to time. You just got to feed people with a long-handled spoon, as they say. I don't care if they are your kinfolks. Sometimes you just can't be around them. On going over to their house and eating at their table and stuff like that. It's just not a good idea to hang with everybody. And as I get older, and I'm approaching another milestone birthday, by the way, this November. In a few months, I'll be 45. I just don't care to hang with a lot of people now. I did all that throughout my teens and 20s and 30s. But now that I'm halfway through my 40s and inching closer to 50, I just don't care to be around all those people. If I go around folks, I don't mind being around them for a little while, maybe a couple of hours or so. But after that, I'm ready to come back home and relax. Get out of my clothes and shoes and just chill. Because your home is a safe haven. The saying goes that a man's home is his castle. And it's where you can be yourself. You don't have to worry about trying to put on a front and trying to, talk a certain way, walk a certain way, act a certain way, dress a certain way. However you do and whatever you choose to do in your own home, that's your business. And you feel good when you're there. So how do you feel about being around certain people, being in certain places at certain times, whatever the occasion might be? I'm sure that you've been places where you just didn't feel right. Time you showed up, you were ready to go. And I've been there on many occasions, trying to hang with coworkers and stuff. They dragging me to these old clubs and stuff, and I've never been a club person. But I would go just for the sake of trying to please them and trying to fit in, knowing good and doggone well I didn't have any business there, because I had worked all day and all I wanted to do was come home, take a shower, and eat me a little something and relax. But trying to follow the crowd, I went head on. And when I got there, I was like, oh man. I was so ready to go. So the bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, you simply cannot eat at everybody's house. And even if the occasion doesn't include food, it may be something else. You just have to be careful. Because there are so many different energies out here, and all of it is not positive. All the energies are not happy and joyful. A lot of negative energies out here. So we just have to be mindful of that. So I would like to say thank you very much for being with me today for a little while, and for joining me for another episode of TJ's Topics. I really do appreciate it. And be sure to join me again next time when I will have something else interesting to share with you, okay? No telling what that might be. I look forward to seeing you then. This is Taryn Jerome Harris, reminding each and every one of you that every round goes higher and higher. And enjoy the rest of this hot summer because it's definitely going to be that. Bye-bye.